So this is Portal 2. Portal 1 was like a really quick run and really like glitchy the entire way through. Portal 2 is like a lot more focused on a few skips. Although it's actually fun, unlike Inbounds in Portal 1, so that's a good start. So we'll just start the container raid. Most runs we're able to skip this 5-minute cutscene at the beginning of the runs by just using a save. I'm not going to do it for this. I'll tell.
You have been in suspension for 50 days.
Start the timer
Regulations. All testing
now.
Aperture Science Extended Relaxation Center must be revived periodically.
Yeah.
For mandatory physical and mental
So normally we're allowed to skip this 5-minute cutscene, but for the sake of the marathon, I've decided to not. You have to look up and look down. This is some entertaining gameplay right here.
Good. This completes the gymnastic portion of your mandatory physical and mental wellness.
You have to stare at a painting.
There is a framed painting on the wall. Please go stand in front of it. This is art. You will hear a buzzer. When you hear the buzzer, stare at the art.
Incredible. So I guess let's talk about the category. The same rules basically apply to the Portal 1 run. The only difference is in Portal 2, we don't allow any kind of save load abuse, because it'd be very, very, or in the main category we don't. We do in the any %, but nobody really plays any % because it's really not fun.
Good morning. You have been in suspension for 9. This courtesy call is for you.
Good. Looking good, actually. Are you okay? Are you... Don't answer that. I'm absolutely sure you're fine. There's plenty of time for you to recover. Just take it slowly.
Yeah. So in Portal 2, there's no ABH because they kind of worked out that it was pretty broken having that in the game. The good news is that they added back in bunny hopping kind of is a little bit different to how it worked in old Half-Life 2, which is what they tried to patch out when they fixed bunny hopping for Portal.
You all right down there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
So we'll explain that more in depth later on. I guess what I'm doing here is I'm actually doing a bit of movement tech here. This is wall strafing by holding W and either of your strafe keys, so A or D, and walking along a wall. You'll be moving significantly faster than you would normally walking. This is just done occasionally in the run. I guess while we're talking about this, there's another thing called speed wall strafing, which is where you do a similar thing, but only hold your strafe key and jump. And that allows you to build up speed while going along the wall. It's generally a bit faster than bunny hopping, so we'll be using that occasionally if there's a wall that we can just run along.
Okay, what you're doing there is jumping. You just jumped. But never mind. Say apple. Apple.
We just have to
Okay, you know what? That's
say a couple
just
words
hold
there.
tight.
And then we get to sit here and do nothing some more.
Are now non-functional.
I kind of had PTSD from this cutscene, not gonna lie. Like, I had to play through, I think for my first, like, 1,000 hours of playing this game, there was you weren't allowed to skip this cutscene at all. The save was not allowed. So,
Reserve power ran out.
I've sat through this 5-minute cutscene a few times.
Station center stops waking up the bloody test subjects. Hold on, this is a bit tricky.
Yeah. So bunny hopping in this game. So while in Portal we didn't really worry about, like, doing anything in the air, it was kind of just, like, landing and then jumping as quickly as we could. In this game, we're going to be doing air strafes. So by holding D and moving our mouse, we can gain D or A and moving our mouse in the direction. So moving our mouse left or right while we're doing that. We can build up speed in the air by just jumping. Or not by jumping, by just like doing those strafes. Yeah, basically that's just how that works. And that's going to be the main movement we do for most of the run. Kind of doing air strafes and chaining it together with B-hops.
Listen, we should get our story straight, alright? If anyone asks, and no one's gonna ask, don't worry, but if anyone asks, tell them as far as you know, the last time you checked, everyone looked pretty much alive. Alright? Not dead. Okay, almost there. On the other side of that wall is one of the old test
That was my
centre
chance.
plants. There's a piece of equipment in there that we're gonna need to get out of here.
So while we're just waiting for Wheatley to do this, there's literally nothing you can do in this cutscene. It's incredibly boring. Like,
Good news. That is
I don't know.
So there's one mystery.
Even like the Portal 1 vault isn't as bad as this, which you're also allowed to skip at the save, by the way. I didn't mention that during that run. But for most of the time while you're doing Portal 1 runs, you can just skip that by loading a save after the vault. Or just at the end of the vault.
You're looking for a gun that makes
Yeah, it's not...
holes, but don't
Yeah,
worry.
that's like less bad, because there's actually like things you can do. You can just play with like the props, the clipboard or whatever. And this you can't really. So we're gonna jump in here. And now we get a bit more waiting to do.
Amateur Science Enrichment Center.
So we're gonna be going for toilet swoosh here. This is where you throw the clipboard into the toilet. It's a pretty precise trick. It saves no time,
Thanks to
but
emergency testing protocols. Testing can
is required to be done
recorded messages will
for a
provide
run to be
instructional
good.
and motivational support so that science can still be done, even in the event of environmental, social, economic, or structural collapse. The portal will open and emergency testing will begin in 3.
Yeah, the container that you're actually in isn't actually what you're in. You're in like a separate black box that doesn't actually move at all. The actual container that you're shown is just your camera being separated from your body, similar to how Sabotage did it in Portal 1. So this is the beginning of the run, I guess. We just did a dialogue skip. By going through the second door, as a bit of dialogue was playing, we were able to make sure that that we got a shorter bit of make sure that one of the dialogues cut off another bit, making the dialogue in general a lot shorter.
Lie on your back. Immediate pressure to your
Yeah. At the beginning of this run, there's not much that's going on. It's just kind of bee-hopping and solving the puzzles relatively intended. There's not that much we can really do. Here you will be seeing the first instance of waiting for an elevator, or waiting for an elevator fade. So the elevator's going to be down, and we're going to be standing here waiting for it. We don't want to get in, because the game checks at certain times in the elevator shaft. So certain positions in the shaft will like check whether the dialogue is finished. You want to make sure that you're hitting one of these triggers as soon as the elevator touches one, or as soon as the dialogue finishes. You want to be hitting one of these triggers. I didn't do it there because I couldn't hear the dialogue over myself talking, so I just didn't worry about it. But I will be doing that in future elevators. Sometimes you'll hear like lots of noises while I'm going upstairs. I'm trying to just jump a lot on those stairs to make sure that I'm not losing any speed. So I scroll my scroll real hard, and it just makes lots of noise. Here's another dialogue skip. Once we got the portal gun, we're gonna be waiting here.
I'm gonna work on the assumption that you're still alive, and I'm just gonna wait for you up ahead.
Normally the announcer's dialogue has higher priority over Wheatley, but because we do it as the announcer's dialogue starts, Wheatley's can cut him off. And then we go to the end of the level where the announcer talks again. And because the announcer's talking, because the announcer's dialogue does have higher priority and Wheatley's has already started at this point, it cuts it off, and it cuts Wheatley's dialogue off and lets us just save like 10 seconds from not hearing the first bit of announcer's dialogue. Because the announcer doesn't have higher priority over himself, you'll have to listen through both. I messed up my bunny hops there, so we couldn't get through that door. Yeah, we're going to be putting a portal next to this door, and we're going to be pushing that cube through the door. The game kind of gets confused about whether the cube is going through the portal or the door. It just kind of lets it pass through the door. That was some smooth jazz right there. And this is cube momentum. We're gonna be doing, this is cube momentum. We're gonna be doing a portal stand here. This is where we stand at the edge of a portal and then shoot a portal and walk back through our portal we were standing at. In a difference from Portal 1, in Portal 1, like, the portals had a travel time. So, like, they'd go for a bit, and there was actually time in the air. The portals land immediately when you shoot them in Portal 2. So, there's literally no wait time.
This next test applies the principles of momentum to movement through portals. If the laws of physics no longer apply...
Here's Future Starter, in case you missed the tricks that we did there. They're literally the exact same tricks done to solve that one. And we're coming up to a button glitch. So, you saw button save glitch in Portal 1. This is just button stuck glitch, because we wanted to maintain this PSG. You just walk on the button, and then the same tick that you walk on the button, you walk off it, and the button just gets stuck down.
That said, if you are simple-minded, bold, or irradiated in such a way that the future should not start with you, Please return to your primitive tribe and send back someone better qualified.
It's a lot faster than getting a cube. You can't do it on every button in the game. There's only a few that you can. I think there's like 5 in the entire game that you can do it, and we don't need to push most of those buttons down. Because as it turns out, there's a fair few ways we can skip things. This is going to be Wheatley skip squared, Wheatley skip, or pancake shot, depending on who you ask. Basically, you stand in a pretty precise position, and then you line up in a very, very precise position. This is sub-pixel precise, so this might take a second to line up. That ain't it. Why is that not working? What? Why is this not? Okay. This should be... What? Hold on. Let me try and just do this again. I've done something wrong. I don't know what it is, but something's off. There we go. Okay. I have no idea what was wrong the first time. Yeah, so according to people who know a lot more about this game than me, that portal actually doesn't even shoot straight. It literally has to curve to make it through that gap. It's super weird. It's ridiculously precise. It was only discovered a while ago. Before that, we had a different skip where we skipped Wheatley. That one saves like a fair bit more time over that though. Wheatley does his teleporting to our hands after that because I guess they really wanted to make sure that you had Wheatley, which is great because if it didn't do that, then we would not be able to to complete this map, I guess.
That's a great job. I just looked down. I do not recommend it. I've just done it again. This is the main breaker room. Look for a switch that says escape pod.
Yeah, there's another 2 minutes of cutscene, and then we're out of cutscene for the early game, basically.
Well, obviously you've got to look at everything else to find escape pod, but as soon as you look at something, it doesn't say escape pod.
This is one of the reasons that
Well, look at other things, but don't. You understand?
The Portal 2 was like
Can you see it anywhere?
generally like not that fun to run full game runs with until pretty recently, because you had to deal with this cutscene and the 5 minutes at the beginning, and it was just very, very not fun. You can jump up on Wheatley there because you just can. You can't actually do it after his animation finishes though. After his like getting into the thing animation finishes. You can only do it at the very beginning. And we're coming up to one of the most beloved characters of Portal, returning for Portal 2. We didn't actually show it. Oh, we did actually show it in the Portal run. Yeah, so this is Hoopy the Hoop. After you kill GLaDOS in Portal 1, this hoop drops in front of you. And Valve was very, very sure that this hoop was going to be the big meme from Portal. The biggest meme you can think of. And didn't really turn out to be a thing. But we love him anyway.
Wait, did I do B? Did you have head? Start writing these down. Complete. I don't. Okay, listen. Alright, new plan.
Oh, and there's also GLaDOS, I guess.
Oh, it's you.
You know her?
It's been a long time. How have you been? I've been really busy being dead. You know, after you murdered me.
You did what?
So here's a fun fact. Before this point in the run, you actually can't take any damage. You have permanent invulnerability.
Things that you're going to regret.
So,
But I think
yeah,
that
I guess that's a thing.
behind us.
It only gives you the damage. You hit a trigger while you're falling down the, like, this
I will say,
hole
though, that since you went to all the trouble of waking
that
me
lets
up,
you take damage for the rest of the run. So that's interesting.
really love to test. I love it too. There's just one small thing we need to take care of first.
Cool. The loads in this game are normally really, really long. But we discovered pretty recently that the game actually did nothing for most of the loading screen. They just, like, actually just put a loading screen there, and they just, like, extended it out with just time where your computer was doing nothing. So we've got a plugin that we use for speedrunning this game now that just removes that waiting time in the loads.
Incinerator room. Be careful not to
Yeah,
get
that's...
parts of me.
That was
Get
That was a good discovery.
The dual portal device should be around here.
Yeah, if you were to skip past that trigger, you would still have invulnerability. In meme categories, there's ways you can skip the trigger, and you have invulnerability. I tried to skip a trigger that removes that animation from starting, but I accidentally hit it just. Okay, I was supposed to be doing portal stands there, but I guess I just didn't.
Interaction with you to a minimum. Luckily, we haven't started testing yet. This will be our only chance to talk. But the important thing is you're back with me. And now I'm on to all your little tricks. So there's nothing to stop us from testing for the rest of your life.
Okay.
After that, who knows? I might.
And now we have the dual portal gun, so we can actually
Maybe.
skip a few more puzzles, hopefully. Yeah. So you can see like these loads like are only like a couple of seconds long. They used to be like actually like 10 seconds long or something. It was ridiculous.
Killed me. By the way, thanks. Not bad. I forgot.
There we just skip over a puzzle. There's supposed to be like lasers that you do something with. This is laser intro, where it introduces lasers. We skip them. We're coming up to laser stairs, I think. Again, a map about lasers.
Next involves discouragement redirection cubes. I just finished building them before you had your, episode. So now we're both.
Okay, that's not right.
There should be one in the corner.
Okay.
Well done.
Yeah, we skip the lasers again.
Test results.
Laser stairs is like an actually horrible map because the way the cube physics interact in that portal is super just weird. It flings you off at all kinds of weird angles. It does a bunch of really weird stuff. It's just awful.
Let that horrible person thing discourage you. It's just a data point.
Yeah.
If it makes you
This is dual lasers. This is once again a map about lasers. In fact, 2 of them. We're going to be using one of them. We just did what's called laser switch glitch, where if you switch which receptor a laser is on, there's a brief period of time where both are active. It just doesn't remove whatever the first receptor it was touching was for like a tiny amount of time. So we can do that to get the door to open. And once the door starts opening, if you're holding against it, the door will continue opening.
You're navigating these test chambers faster than I can build them. So feel free to slow down and do whatever it is you do when you're not destroying this facility.
Okay, this is laser platform. There's a platform here, and you can just kind of like hop across if you move it a little bit. There is a slightly faster strat that allows you to just like re-portal, which is a trick we'll show in a second, over it, but it's really, really precise. I'm not doing it. Here's an interesting thing on this map. So I told you earlier that you have to wait for dialogue at the end of levels a lot of the time. On this level, it doesn't actually check that a cube's on the button, it just checks that like the button is being pressed by something, or the button has something on it. So you can just put a camera on it. I believe this is the only button in the game that has it set up this way, so I have no idea why it is that way, but it just is.
For the rest of your life. I thought that was interesting.
This was, I believe, the introduction of faith plates there. So you saw that I just went on a plate and I flung.
Let's see
That's the
what
faith
the
plate.
next test is. Oh, advanced aerial faith plates. Well, have fun soaring through the air without a care in the world. I have to go to the wing that was made entirely of glass and pick up 15 acres of broken glass.
On this map, you're supposed, or there's like, okay, so Lados is gonna make a joke about how she's playing like rubbish at us. We're gonna go through and set up some portals here. And we can actually use the rubbish to set up to press. Okay, I don't want to talk about what just happened. I got stuck in the,
There's still trash in them.
what do you call this? I don't know, the platform, very briefly, because it was going up.
Try to avoid the garbage hurtling.
Yeah, but we can just use the rubbish to press down the button.
Remember before when I was talking about
And this is one of the few maps where, okay, at the bottom of the elevator shaft, there is a trigger that'll teleport you to the next map, no matter what, if the dialogue even hasn't finished. This is one of the few maps where it's faster to go to the
which would have made this apology
bottom. Yeah, rubbish just flung through our portals, off the faith plates, and push down the button at the end of that level.
Did you know that people with Guilty consciences are
This is pit flinks. Okay, so I talked about reportals earlier. This is basically going to be a triple reportal. So we're going to be shooting a portal as we're going through another portal. What this does is
interesting science.
it gives us a speed boost. So basically, it wants to make sure that you can't stand at a portal and shoot another portal and then just stay where you are. So it gives you speed to make sure that you're not getting like stuck in the portal or whatever. We can abuse this to just like fling across distances that we're not supposed to be able to, and I can't land this reportal. Okay, this is interesting. When I died in the go, I just loaded back a save. Okay, there we go. Oh my god, that took a while. That reportal isn't actually that hard, but I guess I'm just bad at the game now. Actually, never mind, it's really hard. It's actually the hardest trick on the run.
Out of the test area. This one is broken. Don't take anything with you.
Normally, I do like, I guess like a bit of like a swag strat there after that, where like I go for another reportal, just because there's time that you can kill. But I'm not trusting my reportals to do that. This is Fizzler intro. There's a Fizzler, and you're supposed to like go around the other side. Or you can just shoot portals under this. Never mind, you can't shoot portals under it. You can just walk on this and then go here. Just skip the puzzle.
Oh no, the turbines again. I have to go. Wait, this.
That map actually doesn't check for dialogue for some reason. Some maps just don't. For seemingly no reason. Okay, this is actually a really hard trick. This is double dialogue skip. Basically, what's going to happen here is we're going to crouch, we're going to hit a dialogue trigger, crouch, and then uncrouch. If we do this correctly, we can hit the trigger 3 times. It's supposed to be 3 bits of dialogue that play. So what this lets us do is skip 2 of the bits of dialogue and just play the last one, because we're hitting it 3 times in a row. So doing that lets us skip 2 bits of dialogue that each go for about 15 seconds and get this lower earlier. Then we're going to shoot a portal as we're going through a portal, because what side of a portal you're on is determined by your feet. So if I shoot a portal while only my head's through the portal, the game actually doesn't think that we're through that portal yet. So it allows us to just go through to where we just shot the portal. And this isn't hard in the slightest. I just actually fell off the edge there.
Look at you, sailing through the air majestically, like an eagle, piloting a blimp.
Okay. We're going to Ricochet. Ricochet's another really hard map.
Enjoy this next test. I'm going to.
There's nothing too complex going on this map. There's just a laser that, when it's blocked, a panel goes down. We're trying to land this cube, so that way it'll go through the laser, and then we'll pick it up again, and then that was 8.
Tell you about the time I saw it.
Hold on, that's not save.
You ride an elevator all the way up to the break room. And I'll tell you about
Yeah, we're gonna try and throw the cube there, get it to hit the laser, and then ideally would fling off the panel as it's going up. We just missed that, so instead, well, there's a faith plate there that we started flinging off, and then we blocked ourselves with the cube, and normally the cube would gain all our velocity and we'd lose it all. But we just grabbed the cube before it flung away from us, so it lets us do a backup strat there, where we don't lose anything. Don't lose any time. Okay, and we're getting into the introduction of bridges now. Bridge intro. I don't know. I'm sure most of you have played Portal 2. I'm not going to bother explaining the mechanics, but
If you rubbed your cheek on one, it would be like standing out.
that button can be hard to press from down there. Yeah, but it is slightly faster to do, so.
Set your hair on fire, so don't actually do it.
And then we're going to do the same thing that we did on Smooth Jazz, where we push the cube through the door, but we're going to push it through some glass this time.
Excellent.
And I can just go on the button without us having to put it on there directly.
Speaking of which, I was researching sharks for an upcoming test. Do you know who else murders people?
I'm gonna wait for
who are
dialogue here.
trying to help them? Did you guess sharks? Because that's wrong. The correct answer is nobody. Is that?
And we're coming up to... Oh my god.
to do with all the money I save recycling your one room full of air? When you die, I'm going to...
Okay, this is Bridge the Gap. So this is a trick called Door Skip, where you skip a door. It's supposed to close on you and it's supposed to sit through a cutscene or a bit of dialogue where Wheatley talks to you. If I don't suck, there's a B-hop pattern that you can do, where you can just kind of go through the door before it closes. Then we're going to do a really hard fling here. So we're going to do a re-portal, grab the cube while it's dropping, and then fling across the entire map with a B-hop. It's pretty precise to do.
In the commendation section. Oh, there's lots of room here. Did well. Enough.
Okay.
This next test involves turrets. You remember them, right? They're the pale spherical things that are full of bullets. Oh wait, that's you in 5 seconds. Good
This is turret intro. There's turrets here. I'm gonna be pretty focused for this map because it can be hard. Okay, that's the most stressful bit. The cube there can just sometimes decide it doesn't want to let you grab it. But it did. Okay. We gotta be careful at the end of that map. If you walk too far forward, you just won't be in the trigger to open that door. So you'll have to just work out that you did something wrong and then be like, oh no, I was in front of the trigger, and then in like 5 seconds walking backwards. Because you'd never expect it to happen until it does.
The point is, yesterday was your birthday. I thought you'd want to know.
And then here we just fling our cube across the lasers there to get the dialogue to start, and then we line it up more precisely. Okay, I don't know why this isn't staying. There we go.
Medical procedure. Well, technically, it's a medical experiment. What's important is it's a present.
Yeah, we actually did lose like 2 seconds from that. That's unlucky. You'll see at the start of my hop sequences I'm doing like a bit of a strafe like that. That's called a circle strafe or a circle jump. Basically it's just like a way of getting a bit more speed off the ground. And here I'm just gonna get the turret to shoot me to give me a bunch of speed, so I can fling across here. Okay.
I'm going through the list of test subjects in cryogenic.
Yeah, and that's what map was that? I don't even remember what that map's called for some reason. I can't think about it.
So that's interesting. It's a small world.
Okay, don't worry about it. We're coming up to column blocker. So I mentioned earlier that there's a trigger at the bottom of elevator shafts that teleports you. Oh wait, never mind, we're not. We're in laser burst turret. Okay. Good, we've got more time then. Yeah, he was gonna shoot those turrets and then we're just gonna fling through. You can technically not destroy those turrets if you do a reportal, but it's very, very, very precise. So it's not done by anybody in full game runs. It's only done in ILs. This game does have a very, very active IL community, due to the fact that it's got a built-in IL feature. It's got what's called CM, challenge mode, where it automatically times your runs through the game. There was a point in time, pretty recently, where all of the single-player IL world records were held by a single person. Zypay managed to like collect every world record. It was absolutely incredible. For a game that's got like hundreds of active players in the speedrun community in ILs, it was unreal. Zypay is an absolute god at this game. That was pulled the rug. Nothing really too special happens on that map. Give me 1 second. I need to fix this. I just realized there's something wrong. Okay, that's better. Yeah, so we're coming to column blocker now. I got that wrong on many maps. Basically, column blocker, at the end of this map, there's an elevator. Unlike most elevators, this doesn't just have a bit of dialogue. This is an actual cutscene that's supposed to play while you're in the elevator. Technically, you can clip out of all elevators. You can just clip through them when they're starting to move. There's no point in doing this though, because the triggers that change level are normally based on where the elevator is. But because this map is a cutscene, it actually does have the triggers based on where you are. So what this means is we can position that there. We can go through, shoot that bridge. You might have noticed that I wasn't actually aiming on the portal surface there. This game has something that we call, I'll actually explain this. We do a very precise lineup, and then I'll explain that. I'll go back to that. This is a very precise lineup. It's pretty hard to do. But if you do it just right, hold on. You'll see that I'm like glitching up and down a bit. That means that I'm pretty close to getting it. Okay. There we go. So yeah, you can just clip through the elevator, and then you can just hit the trigger there, and then I'll change the level.
Well, you know the old formula. Comedy equals tragedy plus time. And you have been asleep for a while, so I guess it's
Okay, so I'm gonna grab ourselves the cube there by just jumping over. I'm grabbing it. You're supposed to like do some other stuff to get that cube, but you can just jump to get it. I don't even think you need to do airstrips. I think you can just get it if you just jump. Yeah, and I'm gonna do that to grab this cube and line up this. There is a third receptacle that you're supposed to put another cube in, but you actually don't need to do that. It's only to kill like the turrets that you need to do. So we can just like jump over the turrets and just not worry about it.
And I came up
Pacifist run, as of now.
Think works out best for one of
And only now. The rest of it's not gonna be pacifist, and before that point it wasn't pacifist. But that level was, okay? We need to hold on to that. We get to hold on to our good deeds.
Federal regulations require.
This is triple laser. I mentioned laser switch glitch earlier, or dual laser. This is the same glitch. We're gonna be using the laser
That's right.
and putting it in the correct position. We're just gonna like move it really quickly between these three. I'm just gonna open the door.
Test chambers look even better than they did before. It was easy, really. You just have to look at things objectively, see what you don't need anymore, and trim out the fat.
Okay.
I've got a surprise for you after this next test. Not a fake, tragic surprise like last time. A real surprise with tragic consequences.
Okay, here is Jailbreak. This map is where you're supposed to, like, leave, like, GLaDOS in the testing track, and Wheatley's breaking you out. No! Okay, we just missed a slightly faster strat. Yeah, that's unlucky. Sorry, I just got so focused on trying to do it that I just didn't pay any attention to talking. But yeah, this is slightly faster strat you can do. It takes like maybe 5 seconds, I don't know. But we just missed it because, we didn't go quick enough. This is just all movement through here. It actually probably wasn't worth loading back. Okay, I'm getting this now. I loaded back once, I've got to do it again. Wait, why does this feel weird? Okay, something I was doing was off there, I don't know what it was. Something felt weird. But yeah, you can jump over that railing. It saves like maybe 3 seconds, 5 seconds, something like that. But I messed up and loaded back once, so I gotta do it again. I had to get it. I was committed at that point. Yeah. This game used to be ran in single segment, that is, like, no save loads. It's supposed to be no dying, but we allowed deaths most of the time. But as of a while back, we changed the rule set. So now it's like if you make a mistake, you can just load back onto a previous save. The last couple maps were like pure movement. My movement's pretty bad right now, I guess. Okay. And we're coming up to light skip. Basically, Wheatley has a light that he turns on here. And to turn that on that light, you've got to hit a trigger, and it has to play, like, a pretty long cutscene. So we can just jump over the trigger, and hop on the invisible railing that's above the actual railing here, and then jump back on Wheatley's railing. And we can skip that. Now you'll see everything's going really, really bright. I just pressed a bind that puts up the brightness. I partially did this because, A, you guys wouldn't have been able to see anything in the dark. It's incredibly dark. I can just see, but also, it's completely allowed to turn on this brightness. The reason for that is some people have monitors or issues with their computers, and like, as far as I'm aware, Good to Go is the only player that. Okay, I don't want to talk about what just happened. In this game, oh no. Okay, when you have too much speed, over 300 units per second in the in-game velocity, the game makes sure that you can't turn, so you'll be stuck moving in whatever direction you're moving. I hit that velocity cap while I was trying to turn, so I ended up just flinging off into the abyss down there. Yeah, but Goodago is the only player who I've ever encountered that had issues with the computer where they physically, like, the game actually just, like, displayed something that was black. Or damn close to black at the very least. So we allowed this as a way for players that do have that issue to be able to still actually do the run. And we'll turn it off right now, because that's the last point where it's needed. So this is turret sabotage. We're just going to do a reportal here to build up speed so we can get across that slightly faster. And then there's a railing here, or there's a conveyor belt here that moves backwards, so we're going to be jumping on the side of it so we don't get any backwards velocity from it. And we're coming up to another pancake shot, which is what we call the shot through the doors, because they're as thin as a pancake. You might think that that's a very, like, weird thing to name it after, and it is. I think somebody in the Discord just said it, and then everybody adopted it.
Follow me, you're gonna love this.
Especially considering it's significantly, like, thinner than a pancake, it's pretty weird. So we line up. We need a portal here that's really precise, so we can be in the correct position. So we land. Wait, I did that wrong. Hold on.
If we pull out the template turret, it'll shut down the whole production line. Right.
So yeah, we shoot a portal there, then we go in here, and we shoot a portal right at that gap. This one's a little bit easier for some reason. I think I might be closer to it. But it's still pretty precise. Oh my. Okay, we're messing up a bit now.
So let's go and take care of that neurotoxin generator as well.
Yeah, we're trying to take out the turrets. We just did, apparently. We actually didn't. We just walked past all of it. But Wheatley thinks we did, and that's what counts.
Batteries. Embarrassing. I mean, I realise they're children, but still, you know, low-hanging fruit and all that. Fairly sorry.
And now we have to go take out the neurotoxins. That way we will be safe when we're confronting GLaDOS. This map has a pretty interesting IL because it's all movement. But the end is like cycle based. So like for a long time, the fastest cycle was called Xaipe cycle because Xaipe was the first player to get it, and for a long time was the only player who was able to get it. I believe there's a slightly faster cycle now, just from people getting better at the game and getting better movement. The ILs in this game are a lot more popular to run than full game runs, because there's an in-game IL feature. Okay, I messed up. There's a shot you can do. This door actually doesn't collide, portals don't collide with it. So you can shoot onto this surface early, but we just missed the shot.
Warning, neurotoxin pressure has reached dangerously unlethal levels.
So we've got a bit of cutscene coming up, so I guess let's have a look at some of the donations I'll put in. Anonymous donated $5.91, saying, "Wish I could donate more. Awesome job, folks. Proud of you, Nay. Good luck, Wilbo." Thank you, bud. Nace donated $53.56, saying, "Get around it, lads." And Bakuman84 donated, "A wild Wilbo man appears. Good luck." Thanks, Baku. Oh, okay. I think that's all the donations that came through during my runs. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. If any of the donations further back are from this run, or the previous run, tell me, and I'll read them as well. But I think that's correct.
Hold on, because I might not have thought this next part completely.
You're just gonna wait a little bit through this.
I'm going the wrong way. Get to her. I'll find you.
Okay. So this is... what map is this called? Core. Most of it's a cutscene. We just kind of have to wait for a lot of it. There's just little things that we can do to make it a little bit faster at certain points. And then at the very end, it's a big skip, the largest skip in the entire run, actually. Saves about 2 minutes. It's incredibly simple and not very impressive, but it is the largest skip in the run.
Well, it was nice catching up. Let's get to business. I hope
Yeah, we just have to wait though for a while here. Gladys has to talk at us.
Otherwise, I'm afraid you're about to become
You can see the pipe that Wheatley's gonna come through later on. You can actually see, I think, Wheatley in it somewhere.
seriously though.
But you can also see that it actually doesn't have an end to it. It's actually just like a tiny little bit of pipe. Yeah. You can just see the end there. It's kind of chilling.
Oh, you were busy back
Yeah,
then.
so the turrets that we destroyed exploded. I should have probably looked at
Suppose
that,
we
but
could just sit in this
I wasn't paying
room and
attention.
glare at each other until somebody drops dead. But I have a better idea.
Yeah, so you can see the end of the pipe just doesn't exist.
Deadly neurotoxin.
You can see the pipe just like moves forward slowly.
Take a deep breath.
And the end of it just cuts off like there. You can see Wheatley falling through non-existent pipe. Then we can try and land him on our head.
I hate you so much.
Warning. Central core.
We don't need him for a while, so we're just trying to like do something to kill the time.
I feel corrupt.
We balanced him for a while there. I'm not unhappy with that balancing.
Core detected.
Oh, that's me they're talking about.
To initiate a core transfer.
So we're gonna plug him in.
Substitute core.
The
receptacle.
receptacle here.
Substitute core accepted. Substitute core.
And now there's a tiny little optimization we can go for here,
Core.
where normally you'd shoot a portal and then you'd portal around to the other side of this. You'll see in a second what I mean. But we can jump over this
Stalemate detected.
little things that are gonna pop up,
Cannot continue.
Yes.
and it saves a tiny little bit of time.
Present to press the stalemate resolution button.
Need to push a button over here. So, ooh, that was not okay. I shouldn't have reloaded there.
Don't press it.
There we go.
Not so fast.
Stalemate resolved.
And then we can move through.
Wait, what if this hurts? What if this really hurts? Ah, I didn't think of that.
We're gonna stand right above this, and we're coming up to the largest skip in the run.
Saying that, or is it really
This is what's called,
saying that, aren't you? No, you're not. It is gonna hurt, isn't it?
by most people, elevator glitch, elevator skip. But the person who first discovered it wanted it to be called McPedro glitch, so in honor of McPedro, we'll call it McPedro glitch. Okay. Yeah, basically there's an elevator that's gonna come up here, and the game wants us to get inside the elevator. We're gonna jump on top of the elevator, and the game thinks that he's gonna think that we're inside it, and then it's gonna save us about 2.5 minutes.
Not too bad, eh? Giant robot, massive. It's not
Because we're gonna be able to fall down the shaft instead of having to wait for the elevator to go down it, which takes a much longer time.
There we go. Live cool.
So yeah, we can just jump here,
Let me tell you,
and bam.
it's gonna be cool to be in charge of everything. But wow, this is cool. And check this out. I'm a bloody genius now.
Estás usando este software de traducción de forma incorrecta. Por favor, consulte el manual.
I don't even know what I just said, but I can find out. Oh, sorry, no, the lift. Yes, sorry, forget it. This body's amazing, seriously. I can't get over how small.
So if we can get this good, hopefully we can get what's called fast fall. We did not get it. You can just fall through the shaft, or you can like strafe around to fall through the shaft without landing on the ground at all, which makes that a little bit faster. Yeah, so now we're on the fall, and this map is long fall. It's a long fall. Gladys is there, Sabotage now. She skips the part of the cutscene where that happened. And the elevator's above us, because we were supposed to fall out of that. And this is about a minute long, where there's nothing much we can do. I think somebody worked out how long this was. There are signs here that tell you how far you've been falling. You could realistically work out how deep it is. Technically you're not actually falling here. I don't know if you guys can see. In the top left of my screen I have a velocity counter. It's pretty small. The velocity says 0 because we're not actually moving. The map is just moving around us. And yeah, we are coming into the underground stages. These are probably some of the most fun stages of the run. They're not necessarily the most broken stages, although there are a few things that are pretty broken in them. But they are the most fun ones. The most broken stages are the latest ones in the run. Like, when we get to the end of the run, it gets a lot more broken. That's just the way this game is. The early game is pretty plain, pretty bland, but as it gets later, it gets a lot more interesting. Yeah, you start off and we just start B-hopping right away. Movement is like the main thing in this run. It's like a lot about movement and less about how you can execute speed tech, which makes it a lot more, a lot similar to Portal 1, or a lot dissimilar to Portal 1 in that respect. It's like, Portal 1's very much about how quickly you can execute the glitches, how quickly you can get save glitch and shoot all your shots. This is much more about how fast can you move and how good is your movement. So straight away we just try and activate these buttons. We did a long shot there where we jumped and like did a bit of a lineup. I didn't talk about it. It's just like a shot into that little thing there. It's decently hard to line up correctly, but it's not that if you know what you're actually lining up with. And this is Cave Johnson. This is arguably the hardest map in the run, but it should go okay. The first thing that we're gonna do is just like hop along this railing and portal up there. And now we're gonna do a bit of a hard shot here. Okay. I honestly don't know how I messed it up. Like, that is ridiculously hard to mess up. Okay, it's fine. So we line up on the very edge of this railing, and then we're going to shoot a portal right at the edge of that cliffside, and we can just see a portal surface and not be able to access, that we're not supposed to be able to access till much later. And then we can go up here, and we're going to line up portals, and we're going to get scripted momentum here. And then we're also going to do a root portal. I'll explain what scripted momentum is in a moment, don't worry about it. Yeah, if we do that correctly, we can just fling across this, and then bounce up the pipe to the end of the level. So scripted momentum is what's called what happens basically is there's a part of the map where the game wants you to fling or to have speed. Normally you're not going to be able to get that speed. So if you go through a portal in the correct way, the game will just give you that speed. Or if you're like flinging through where you're supposed to be, it'll give you that speed. But you can just also just go through the portal, get that speed if you know what you're doing. Here we're gonna get another button glitch. Most people wouldn't go for that 3 times because it doesn't save that much time. But I want to do the cool strat that nobody else does in full game runs. It's not actually that hard. I don't know why nobody else does it. We're gonna put this cube here and we're just gonna jump into it. Okay, we'll give it. I promise it's not that hard. It's actually not. Okay. It's embarrassing. Oh no. Oh no. It's not working. Hey, there we go. So you can just use that cube to clip you through the floor. Basically how that works is if there are 2 objects in a portal, the game does not like that at all. So if you go into the portal correctly, it'll just clip you through the floor. Because it's like, I need to get something out of this portal. Yeah. So most of the time when you do it, like the cube will just fling off into the distance. But if you do it just right, you'll be able to clip through the floor there. And doing that let us skip like, I don't know, maybe like 5-10 seconds of stuff. So it really wasn't worth it how many times I messed it up, but I wanted to show it off.
All these science spheres are made of asbestos, by the way. We've got the rats. Let us know if you feel a shortness of breath, a persistent dry cough, or your heart.
This is bomb planes. I think this is the first time that we actually use the blue gel in the run.
You make up your own rules, just like me.
Blue gel, bouncy gel, bounces you when you land on it. Boing. That's about all it does. Thanks for listening to my TED talk.
We contrast the neuronal activity in your brain. There's a slight chance the calcium could harden and vitrify your frontal lobe. Anyway, don't stress yourself thinking about it. I'm serious. Visualizing the scenario while under stress actually triggers the reaction.
Okay, this is Crazy Box.
Now, if you're part of Control Group Kepler Kepler 7, we implanted a tiny microchip.
Yeah, we're gonna just like fling and... Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay, we're gonna land here, bounce, and go over to the other side here. You might be familiar with this map. There's like this video that somehow gets recommended to like even non-speedrun people of this map done. Like, I think I had this video recommended. I think it's got millions of views at this point. It's a tutorial to the least portals route of this map. I don't even think it's accurate anymore. I think there's actually a less portals way to do it. I could be wrong about that though. Like somehow it just gets recommended to so many people. Yeah, that's the thing. Here we're crouching as we're going through this portal. For the first part you crouch, your head gets extended 2 units above where it actually is. So if you do that just precisely enough, you can get your head to just clip into that, what do you call that, glass box, I guess? And if that happens, then the cube will start moving and the game will just break the glass because it knows that something's entered it. It's pretty weird, but it does work. That's the only use for that at the moment, I think. Or in the inbounds route at least, is the only use for your head being extended 2 units while you're crouching. Or at the beginning of your crouch. Yeah. This is... what's the map? I don't remember what this map's called for some reason. Potatoes is what it's called. Because this is where you collect potato GLaDOS. We are not going to do that. For some reason, this map doesn't check for anything. So most maps, like, they'll check for the dialogues that's finished. They'll check that, like, you know, you've done something. This map checks for nothing. It just has the door that opens there when you've collected and done the things that you needed to do. So what we can actually do is we can just, like, actually just fling through. Okay, so we can just fling through onto the top here. And just go in. And this game doesn't check that we've got potatoes. It doesn't check anything. It just knows that we're through. We just go through. And it needs potatoes or GLaDOS to be on the gun. So it does put it on at the beginning of this map. Here we're going to shoot a really precise shot. And we're going to line up here and shoot a portal through this. This skips like half of this map. Actually well over half of it. Pretty much most of it. And then we're going to do a nice B-hop and a reportal, and this is decently precise, but it's pretty cool. And that lets you skip over the rest of the map. Yeah. This game is like very... like a lot of people love this game because the dialogue and the writing in this game is very, very good. Unfortunately, I guess the speedrun tries to skip as much of that as possible, obviously. We end up not getting too much of it. We'll get like a few of the more famous lines though. So we line up here, and this is a glitch where, because this surface is angled, if you jump multiple times while you're on that blue gel, it'll just build up a ton of speed. Normally when you jump on blue gel, it's supposed to give you a bit of speed. Because the surface is angled though, when you jump, it doesn't actually like jump you up properly. And because you've got enough forward velocity, you're just kind of going forward. You'll be touching the gel again, and then you can just jump and jump and jump and jump, and you build up a ton of speed just flying across the entire thing there. It's a pretty cool interaction. Once again, the only time that that's used. A lot of Portal 2 maps just have like little glitches that only work for like single maps that end up saving like a huge amount of time on those maps, but have no use outside of that. It's pretty strange. Most speed games don't work in that way. A lot of it's got to do with the way the Portal 2 works though, because you can't really like keep any states through, or you can't keep most states through the rules. You can't like do a whole lot of things to preserve throughout the entire game, which is what a lot of games rely on. The Portal 2 is very, very linear in that sense. Maybe more so than Portal 1 even. We're just going through and like getting all the objectives at this point, just like pushing buttons that need to open things and that kind of stuff. Here's another instance of reportals. As soon as we get to the top here, it also introduces conversion gel, white gel that you can shoot portals on. Oh, I actually should mention, throughout like this section of the run, we've been supposed to be using the the orange gel, the propulsion gel. You don't use that at all in the speedrun, which is kind of funny considering it's the gel that makes you go quick. But it actually is slower to use in every single point where you could use it. So that's the thing. Here's the lemon slime. With the lemons. And we're gonna cut it off before it ends. You guys don't get to hear the end. Okay, this is 3 gels. This is gonna be the only and first instance of... Oh no, this isn't good. Oh no, this is not good. Okay, we're good. Okay, okay. I'm actually just throwing now. Okay. This is the first and only instance of what we call a stuck launch. In this game, it determines how much velocity you have while falling, based on how long you've been falling. It doesn't take into account how far you've fallen at all. So what this means is you can stand here, and you can get yourself stuck on this curved surface here, on this pipe, and you can just start falling for a really long period of time and build up huge amounts of speed, and then bounce up off the blue gel. You skip this entire puzzle. Then we're gonna try and strafe onto here. Nice, we did. And that lets us continue and do second stuck launch. So we're gonna put a portal here, shoot some blue gel there, and then head to the end. Okay. We're gonna look at this poster, and then we're gonna immediately start setting up the second stuck launch. This is much more precise, and it has a pretty precise setup that you gotta do. So we line up. Yep. But I accidentally walked slightly too far. There we go. And then we fling and head to the end of the level. We have to hold crouch there. If you're holding crouch, that blue pipe there is actually bouncy. It's the blue gel pipe, so it's obviously bouncy, like the blue gel. I actually have no idea why that is. But if you hold crouch and touch blue gel, it doesn't bounce you. So we have to do that to make sure that we don't get bounced. The other strat for the ending of that map is to do tube bounce, what we call it, where you bounce off the blue gel tube the entire way up. And we're coming up to test, so back in the new area of the game, and we're back with Wheatley. Or well, in a moment we are. Okay, so this part of the... Okay, here's a funny thing. So the section here is like, there's these like Franken cubes is what we call them, that Wheatley's made, but it's like a turret mode with the cube, and they walk around. Wheatley's trying to get them to like solve a puzzle and like go put themselves on a button. Normally this can't happen. This like, the cubes are specifically programmed to stop before they touch the button. There's one instance in Portal 2 speedrunning where this has happened though. The cubes collided in a really weird way, and it caused them to like, I'm gonna just throw a cube on the button and then head straight to the door. I have to throw the cube onto the button. Oh my god, this isn't great. Because if I don't, then there will be a panel that comes up on the door. You'll see there, and that will stop you from getting through. And you'll have to sit through a cutscene. But yeah, there's one time where the cubes had collided in a really weird way. It happened to Khan even, when he was on, at the time, what was an insane pace. Like, this was world record by a huge amount, like a minute. And, yeah, the cubes collided in this really weird way, and it broke, and they touched the button, and the game completely soft-locked. So that's the only time we've ever seen that soft lock happen to anybody, and it was on a world record pace run for over a minute. It's... There's you can find those videos on YouTube somewhere. It's incredible. Yeah, so we're just gonna continue going through them, pressing buttons and solving this game. Solving these levels. There's not that much in terms of speed tech going on. There's a tiny dialogue skip here. We're gonna stand here.
New tests. Gotta be some tests around here somewhere. Oh, here we go.
Okay, I messed it up anyway. Doesn't matter. Second. Okay. Yeah. So, this is funnel intros. This is the introduction of funnels. This is also the introduction of the glitch called Crouch Fly. When you crouch in a funnel, the game gets, and then you leave the funnel, the game gets confused about whether you're in the funnel or not. So it keeps you floating like you're in the funnel. So right now, we're just floating around the map with no regards to what we're doing. The issue is we can't jump, because if we do, we'll just go to the ceiling, then we'll be stuck there. So we have to be careful about how we move around. We can jump to gain height, we can go off angled surfaces to gain height, and we can walk on ground, and that'll act as normal. But we have to be very careful not to just do any dumb things where we'll get ourselves stuck in soft lock. So here we can jump up, and we can just continue going through. Press this button, and float around, grab this cube, and put it on the button. We just put it on the button there to trigger the ending dialogue, and then we just actually get it to open the door. If it's at all possible, we want to be triggering the ending dialogue before we go to the end of the level, because once again we have to wait for the dialogue to finish before the level can change. So here I'm doing a trick where, or a bit of movement tech, I guess, where I'm spamming A and D while I'm walking on the ground. Yeah, while you're walking on the ground, if you spam A and D, you'll just move slightly faster. That's all it is. Okay. So yeah, we just use the cube to get ourselves to the ground there. Then we just throw the cube up to the button to go through the door. Yeah. This is the last map that we have Crouch Fly at the moment. We're going to touch another funnel. And this is the only way you can use Crouch Fly, by the way. Touching a different funnel from the funnel that you got Crouch Fly in. Or at least, it's the only way you can lose it. Yeah, it's the only way you can... What will I say? It's the only way you can lose it on a map where you didn't gain Crouch Fly. On the map where you gain Crouch Fly, the rules are slightly different, but it doesn't really matter for the purpose of this run. So we're going to shoot a portal very precisely onto that little metal grate there. That is not correct. Hold on, what do I do here?
Anyway, just finish the last one. Just now the hardest one. Machiavelli. Do not know what all the fuss was about. Understood it perfectly. Have you read that one? Yeah.
Okay.
Well, on with the there was more books. Well, there's not.
Okay. That was strange. I accidentally shot the wrong portal. Yes, you might be wondering, why can you shoot a portal on that metal grate?
What was that? That was nothing.
Yes.
That was nothing.
From what we know, there are certain patterns that a portal checks for when it wants to be placed. So it only checks in like an X like every second unit of the portal's placement. And apparently, if you shoot at the right angle and the right position, those metal grates have the same properties, or have enough of that portable surface to shoot a portal on, I guess.
Just moving the old test chamber a little bit closer to me.
So here we're just gonna like
Maybe proximity to the test
grab that cube. Okay, I dropped it like twice there.
What was that?
Neither of those drops were intentional, but hey, I guess it just happened.
Are you absolutely sure you're solving these correctly?
Oh my god, my movement is not great right now.
Maybe there's a number of ways to solve them, and you're picking all the
This run is not great right now, to be honest with you. Things are not going well. We might be going a bit overestimating. Everything has kind of not gone at all as well as any of my practice runs have gone.
I'm going to tape you solving these.
Oh no, this is not it. Beef. Okay, we're gonna get Crouch Fly again here.
On a related note, I am going to need you to solve these 10 times as fast. Anyway, just give me a wave, would you, before you solve this one, alright?
Now we're just gonna jump up here. So we get Crouch Fly again because we're gonna be using it for a while longer now. Yeah. Or actually, only for the next map. It actually loses a tiny bit of time, or a little bit of time on this map. But it saves so much time in the next map that it's 100% worth getting. So, you'll see in a second. Not only is like the solution for this puzzle made a lot faster by having crouch fly. You'll see, like, I can just shoot portal here, 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 then like grab this like this. Like, not only could just like doing this possible and a lot faster than a normal solution, you can also hold on. This is how you get the cube to go into the laser receptacle in this level. Pretty neat exploit. You just like shoot the portal slightly higher than the ground, and then angle it up off the ground into the portal. You can also skip this funnel and just fly around on top of it. And because funnels travel very slowly, this is a lot faster. Like, you'll see how fast I'm traveling in the funnel. Like, it saves a decent amount of time from that as well. Okay. So, oh, I did not press that. This map,
So let's see here.
is an interesting map in CM. Has like, I think, a 20-way tied world record. There's just like a relatively, it's not easy. There's like a way that you can get it. It's easy. It's just like inconsistent, I guess. There's a way you can get world record on this map. Pretty easy. But it's very inconsistent and very not fun to do. Sorry about the audio cutting out. I'm just fixing a thing. Oh wait, never mind. Okay, what I said was actually just wrong. There was actually a new strat discovered that is faster than the old world record strat. So he's no longer a 20-way tied world record. I lied to you, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Okay, this is propulsion polarity. Yeah, that's what it's called. This is the last map of Chamber 8, so we're heading into the finale maps. And we're going to be making sure that we have crouch fly for these maps, because it's a lot faster to have crouch fly than to not. Funny thing about crouch fly is it itself was discovered on the first day of this game's release. But the fact that you could preserve it through levels wasn't discovered for like another year after that, maybe even longer. It was like a huge amount of time before they discovered that you could keep it through levels. Here there's just like a little invisible wall right here that you can bump yourself on. And this wall opens up later on, so they've never bothered making it solid. We just like fly through here, and we're at the correct height from the little wall that we bumped on, and we can just go through. The rest of this this map just flying along walls. So as I mentioned earlier, speed wall strafing is a nice way to gain speed along walls. That's what we're going to be doing for like this, or that's what we are doing for this part. It's just a fair bit faster than strafing. Strafing. Then we're gonna head over here. Okay. And that saves a fair bit of time over just doing like flings. Already we've probably saved time over having crouch play. Over not having crouch play, I mean. And then, oh, this might be bad. This might be bad. Yeah, okay, we have to look back. I mentioned that your velocity gets, that your speed gets, ooh. Your direction and speed gets locked, or no, your speed. I guess just your direction gets locked when you're over a certain speed. That happened there, and I couldn't stop myself, so I just kept on flying past the railing that I wanted to land on. So here, there's this massive thing, but its hitbox is always in the same spot over there. So we just like go around it, even though we are actually closer to going through it than we would be if we had gone where it was, we would let us stop with. Because a lot of the time the game doesn't put things. Oh no, are we gonna make this? Okay, can we recover this without thing? No. Okay, we'll just load back. It's not cheating, it's just like... Oh, okay. We'll need to load the autosave. I thought I made a quick save there, but I didn't. That's fine though, it doesn't matter. There we go. Okay. That's unideal. But yeah. There are turrets just ahead. Okay, yeah, there are turrets just up here. We're gonna have to move pretty quick to not get shot by them. Oh, we did it. We're good. And we're up to Finale 3 now. This is the second to last map. We're coming towards the end of the game very, very quickly now. Okay. So unfortunately, this map is also where we're gonna lose Crouch Fly. It's just not worth having it on the last map. Also I don't think you can self-defeat the last map while having it. It's really not worth having it, I guess. But yeah, we're just gonna fly along here. Yeah, put ourselves in this funnel. Right at the end here. So we can get as much speed, or as much time saved from having Crouch Fly as possible. Then we're just gonna head in and get on to the last map. So this is the final boss fight with Wheatley. Yeah, this run hasn't been great, but you know what? It could have been worse. It hasn't been good. I did about like 3 or 4 practice runs before this, and every single one of them went significantly better than this. So it's not great. We're gonna be a few minutes overestimate. We'll be right.
Pretty sure it's a problem with the light. I think the light's on the blink, but just in case it isn't, I am actually going to have to kill you, as discussed earlier. So let's call that 3 minutes and then a minute break, but we should leave allegedly 2 minutes to figure out how to shut down whatever's starting all the fires. So anyway, that's the itinerary.
Fun fact, I didn't mean to submit this run as a 110 estimate. I meant to submit a 115. But I guess I accidentally typed a 0, another 5. I don't know how I maxed that typo, but I guess I did. Sorry about that one, guys. That's my bad. I like wasn't that worried because I'm like I could do a 110 estimate anyway, but like all my runs were under 110 estimate that I did today, but I guess it just doesn't help. We just got unlucky. So yeah, we're gonna get the white gel out and we're just gonna line up so when Wheatley throws a bomb at us, it's gonna go straight into him. We're also gonna be trying to do a thing called bomb preserve. Basically, if we shoot our portals correctly, we can get the bombs to just loop from one cycle to the next. And if we shoot them at the correct time, we can save a little bit of time over just waiting for the next cycle. We can't shoot them straight away because it breaks. In fact, if you shoot them too early, you actually lose time from getting something called bad ending, where Wheatley will continue shooting bombs at you. Yeah.
System compromised. Neurotoxin offline. Reactor explosion in 4 minutes.
We're gonna stand here and we're gonna wait.
What happened? What happened? What have you pulled to me?
Nice, we were able to get second bomb preserve as well. Okay, I was a little bit worried about that. The second bomb preserve is much harder to preserve than the first. But yeah.
At 75%. Reactor explosion timer.
This means we get to save a little bit of time on both cycles. It's only like a couple seconds, but it's nice. It's nice to get.
Facility will self-destruct in 2 minutes.
Enough! I told you not to put these cores on, but you don't listen, do you? Quiet.
Okay, we're gonna save like a tiny bit from that one. Okay. I might have actually gone early here. I might have. No, we're good. We just went over right time. Oh, that was nice. That was actually a really good Wheatley. I should have broken my time because this probably would be a gold if I don't mix up the ending.
Ah, I see.
Substitute core.
Yeah, landing double bomb preserve is actually really, really hard. I'm pretty glad that I landed it.
What do you think?
So we're coming up to the final trick in the run. Also probably, I think, the coolest trick in the run. It makes the game pretty broken. Right at the end, it's finishing on a high note. This is called early Moonshot. So if you remember, at the end of the run, you're supposed to shoot the moon. Technically, there's a bit of cutscene before that where you're supposed to lose control. Please tell me I made the save. Oh no, this might have been bad. Whatever, we'll stick with this. It's fine. This is fine. I'm supposed to shoot a portal on the ground there. It just didn't work.
Manual core replacement required.
Ah, I see.
That's fine. We can afford that, like, I don't know, 20 seconds. It's okay. It's okay.
Corrupted core. Are you ready to start?
What do you think?
Interpreting vague answer as yes.
No. You pick up on my sarcasm.
Stalemate detected. Fire detected
Okay.
in the stalemate.
Make a save to make sure that we don't do that again, because that was not great. But yeah, we need a portal to be on this ground. If you just spam a portal here, it'll appear,
Stalemate resolution associate.
after it's gone, I guess. I don't know. And then if you can shoot a portal here, you can just shoot the moon early. And that's time. The moon just got shot, that's the final input in the run. But you'll see things get a bit broken still. Because you're not supposed to do that, the game doesn't really know what's going on. So, wait, is it gonna happen? Yeah, okay, it happens now. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. It puts us in the position where we're supposed to be shooting the moon, and then it teleports us back out here, and we have 4 arms, I guess, now. Now only 3. Oh, we're back to 4.
I can pull myself
We're also kind of upside down, or sideways, or something. I don't even know what angle this is.
Are not coming back.
Oh no, change your plans. Hold on to me.
So, yeah. That's Portal 2. That could have been a lot better, but it also could have been a fair bit worse. You know what? We'll take it. If I actually could have been much worse. It was not great, okay? That's what I'm saying. Thank you guys for having me. Sorry that I went over estimate again. That's just, I don't even know. My runs have just been really bad lately, I guess. Yeah. I guess that's it. I would try and let this cutscene play out, but A, we went over estimate, and B, if I let the cutscene play out and when you go on plays, it'll get the VOD muted, so we'll call it quits here. Yeah, thanks everyone. If you're interested in Portal 2 speedrunning, check out the Discord. There's a tutorial made by Can't Even that's pretty up to date. So yeah, thanks.